Me again. I find I'm well rested even though it's not morning. So I've just popped out for a cigarette and, woke up and couldn't believe it wasn't morning. I did think I would have a quick discussion with you to tell you about the deportment badge scenario. Now, that was when I was at Queen Margaret School. I was a bit scruffy. I only had one skirt, actually. I didn't have a change of skirts. I only had one skirt because the school uniforms were so expensive. And, I was probably, I don't even know whether I was that scruffy, actually. But that was the thing. What happened is Sheila Conahan and Sue Huntington and Bill Huntington all grouped together to take it on themselves as a big game and challenge to try and get me a deportment badge. Now, the thing is, I didn't really like being the butt of that joke, really, because I didn't think I was that scruffy anyway. But like they all got together and wrote a load of reports and everything to try and get me a deportment badge behind my back. And like the thing was that like they didn't sort of consult with me or ask me to, it was about standing up straight and stuff. And they didn't kind of, say, do you want a deportment badge or anything like that, really. They clubbed together as a joke to make me the butt of the joke to get a deportment badge. So I just thought you might be interested in that because, like, I don't really know where I'm going with that. Well, I kind of do actually, because when I dropped out of the University of York before I continued my degree, Bill tried to get me involved in a legal activity. He wrote a load of references for me to try and get a job teaching for this York tutors thing at Fulford, and pretended I'd been to a school in Leeds. He told me to write down that I'd been to a school in, I'd trained at a school in Leeds, and like he just said to make up a name because there were so many schools in Leeds, nobody would know which school, whether it existed or not. Now, I later read this book about sort of, people who are kind of controlling and possessive, like, and apparently blokes do like trying and get you involved in an illegal activity. Sometimes to try and get you sort of under their thumb a bit more. Actually, it was Paul Jackets. I went to as a tutor later on, not the firm in in Fulford. But I found all that interesting because another boyfriend tried to blackmail me about that actually. But he didn't know that I really was only getting £15. So, don't know about that. I didn't tell him. I pretended that I just let him. I was interested in the fact that he was trying to blackmail me as well. But anyway, yes. Yeah, I have to say that I did once steal a cup from Wadham College in Oxford. And like it was Shelley's college, the college that Shelley had been expelled from. It was when we went to see this Greek play. It was either Lysistrata or the Flies or the Clouds. I think it might have been the Clouds actually. And there was just an ordinary coffee or tea cup, and it had a little blue sign on it, and I nicked her. And like I mentioned this to Sue and Bill when we were in Greece, and they thought it was highly amusing, and they started a discussion about when it would be fine to nick things, and that if you nick things off a big supermarket, you might be okay and it might not be immoral. Well, actually, I didn't, it wasn't that I am a nicker particularly. Tesco seem to think I'm a nicker because every time I go into Tesco, a big siren goes off. They decided not, they weren't sure about it the other day, but usually, but anyway, I did nick that cup from Modem. I just what's he doing? And then about this conspiracy theory with the deportment badge. Well, then of course I run into David Duff, who went to the same school as Bill taught at as well. I don't know whether Duff was a former pupil of Bill. Duff studied Shelley, of course. So I mean, there is, like, if you want me to concoct conspiracy theories, it might be quite easy actually. Okay then, bye for now. Bye.